Alright guys, we are back here with another video. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of fly fishing. I have the fly rod back there. I don't know if you guys can really see it too well. I can't see it because I'm using the phone and I ain't got my camera turned around because my front camera is not as good, blah blah. But we're just going down to Cameron Park for just a little bit until the sun goes down. See if I can't catch some bluegill, maybe even a bass. I'm not really going for anything big today, but I don't know. I guess I'll see you guys out there. Peace.
Oh.
And it's sinking. But it's sinking slower, so maybe that'll work. Got one. He's a decent sized little bluegill. I'm being real quiet. I don't even know why. But decent little guy. Doesn't really want to be in my hands, but first one down. Come on. Alright, there we go. Got one. And that's why I like fly fishing, is the fish almost always gets the hook in their mouth because the hook is integrated with the bait. So they can't pull the bait off the hook, but they think that the whole bait, which is the hook. Hold on, I'm trying to get a really good cast. Dang it. Here, boom, boom. There it is. Boom. 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 You know, but you pretty much, what I did was I tied a small leaf onto my leader. First I watched 3 instructional videos on how exactly to do this. You know, you watch it and you think it's easy and then you actually do it. And it's like, oh my gosh, on TV they make this stuff look like, you know, you could pick it up and casting is really easy, and you know, then you get there and it's just like, what the heck? How do I do this? How do I not catch a tree every time I cast? How do you set the hook with a fly rod? Because you set the hook, you use almost all your action with a fly rod is given through your line, not through anything else. Just caught that little guy, let him go. You know, so it's a whole different thing if you're used to, you know, your rod giving everything your action and not having to really give much of your action with your hands. It's a whole different, it's a new experience. I think I got a hit. You can set kind of your depth that you want your nymphs going. Gosh dang it, every time I get right in the right place to set it exactly where I want, I get hung up on something, and that's a big thing. You know, I'm fishing a really, really small, thin stream, and to try to fish that and do everything, you know. Right now, as a cue, I'm using my knot at the end, which isn't a knot that you would get shown how to do by anybody that does this professionally. I just used an Albright knot to tie my leader because I didn't have a needle to do it any other way, the way you're actually supposed to. I didn't have a needle to do it that way. Oh, I got hit. Because usually you go through your fly line, which makes your leader pretty much unstoppable. The good thing about fly reels is you can set them in the water. They're not going to corrode or do any of that normal stuff that your normal fishing tackle, you know. Usually with a spinning reel, it's not the best to just go full force into the water and onto rocks. Fly reels are usually a little bit more durable. You know, they really take into account what you're going to be doing with the product you buy. Then usually you're fishing stream applications like this for trout. Maybe not this thin. This is exceptionally thin. But you know, could probably use just a little bit more colorful fly. Dang it, I'm just trying to get it to really, and I might just go with a little overhead right there. Get it exactly where I want it. Yep, and I already got a hit off of that spot just like I thought I was gonna. I missed him though because I still had to get my fly line in. You know, it is what it is. There's a definite advantage to fishing flies. Even when I was tournament fishing for bass, I would keep a fly rod in my boat because in the tournament series I was fishing, it was legal to have one rod over 8 foot and you couldn't use live bait. Those were really the only two rules on that. So a fly rod, which is pretty much just spin casting, well, it's pretty much fishing with lures, but you're not spin casting is what I was trying to say, you know, because that's what I'm doing. I'm fishing with a lure. My lure is my fly, but you know, I'm not fishing with live bait, so it really didn't void any rules for me to have this in the boat. And since you could have one 8-foot rod per person, we had my steelhead rod in the boat too, in case we needed to like be able to launch a bait, because that's what that steelhead rod was really good at. It was an 8-foot, I think it was an 8.6. It's still in the boat. It's an 8.6 rod, and it's really, really good at getting those baits way out there. I'm not really sure about all tournament rules and if it was legal to fly fish in other tournaments. I would really like to see, if it's not, I would like to see it be legalized. Just because fly fishing is such a unique form of fishing, you know, and it really, like, it doesn't take skill to spin cast. It doesn't take skill to to bait cast, even though most people can't use a bait casting reel, it doesn't take real skill to, I got hit hard, to use a bait caster like it does a fly rod. You know, you actually got to have decent skill and know-how to, oh, I got a fish. I didn't even know. His bite didn't even like show up on the line. He's a decent fish though. He's fighting you pretty hard. Oh, he's a pretty decent fish actually. I didn't think he was gonna be nearly as decent as he is. Here you go, barely hooked. One more. I've only been here for 38 minutes. I didn't figure this to be a really long time fishing. I could probably upload all of this on its own, except for, pretty sure you guys don't want to hear me ramble about random stuff, which is pretty much all I'm doing. I'm gonna go to the back side of this and I think I'm gonna walk out here in a minute. But yeah, if you haven't, there's a street light right there. My exposure is making that thing look like, oh, a sign from God, but yeah, just a little guy. You know, I'm not catching a fish every cast, but I'm still catching them. You know, and right now I'm just kind of doing a roll cast, which is like that. It just pretty much, you can get to where you need to get to without throwing this big, huge overhead or a side cast, because I don't have the space to throw either of those right now. I almost don't even have the space to throw a hook or a whatchamacallit. I just said the name of the cast that I'm doing. A roll cast, which is also known as a hook cast. It's just a roll cast. This is pretty much it'll get you right to where you want to get to. You're not using any more or less fly line than you have, but then you give it. Alright guys, so that is the end of today's video. I hope you liked it. I had a lot of fun. I hadn't been fly fishing in a while, so you know, just something good to get back into. If you like the video, make sure to like the video. Be sure to leave a comment, comment anything, and subscribe. I'll see you.